1-minute warning!
To the goofball army out there, hi at the families, tell them to get to the next room, tell them to go to your neighbors, because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If it's your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink, because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, whew.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob, and happy hump day, guys.
Hump day. So, listen, guys, we got a lot to go over. We're finally starting the draft coverage here because the Giants officially have at least stopped the chaos of free agency here. So tonight's all about the running backs. We're scouting the 2026 NFL draft running back class the right way, stacking the traits, weighing risks, and figuring out who really belongs in the conversation. This class has explosive speed, power, receiving value, durability concerns, pass protection questions, and a lot of room for real disagreements. Tonight, we're going to be sorting through which backs deserve the hype and which ones do come with maybe hidden risks. And, of course, which ones translate best to the NFL there. All right, before we get started with the running backs, though, we do have to address the Josh Ezeudu in the room. Because, as Jay was asking, why wasn't there an emergency streaming for the Josh Ezeudu signing? That didn't warrant one. I'm not gonna use that for that. But listen, I don't hate that. In fact, I actually don't hate it even less than I didn't hate, or even more I didn't hate. I don't know which way that goes, but I dislike it less than I dislike the Evan Neal thing.
That's fair. Like,
Josh Ezeudu was not done right by the Giants, guys. Let's be very clear about that. He comes out college as a guard. We try to force him to be a tackle for some reason. Like, when the hell does that happen?
And it's, he was injured in and out, and he played like 40% of the snaps. I feel like the first couple of years where he was hurt, and when he was healthy, when he played 40% of the snaps, like, it was just because he was back up and he, a big improvement. It wasn't hurt.
But it was kind of like guard then tackle, then guard then tackle. It's like, just pick a goddamn position for the kid. Yeah. I feel bad for him. Like, there are certain players that I admit freely the Giants have not done right by. Josh Ezeudu is right up there. We literally have called it Josh Ezeuduing somebody when you play them at the wrong position. So I don't hate it. Now, do I expect him to make the roster? No. I expect it to be a situation where you throw him at, the training camp, see if he can make it through, and that's all there is to it. And, and it's different than, because I'm seeing Winston there in the comments, it's different than when you're moved from left tackle to right tackle. There's a difference. You're literally moving from the inside to the outside. Now, you move tackles sometimes inside because their arm's not long enough. They don't necessarily have the footwork to work the edge there, which is what I think Evan Neal's problem was. But it's crazy to think about. Look, like you're a guard in college. Let's move you to tackle. Typically, that's not something you see often.
It's like you see quarterbacks moving into safety. They lose a step, lose whatever. You typically don't see a safety go into a quarterback. It's a similar scenario. No. It's like
you're more likely to see a safety go to linebacker.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, everyone like talks about like quarterbacks, like, it's kind of like when you get up there in age, you can't quite keep things. Like, sometimes you switch over to safety.
Yeah, and it's like the difference. What I mean by that is like there's a relearning because you have to kind of mirror your steps when you go left to right. There is a difference. Like, you're footing complete opposite of what you were doing. When you move from tackle to guard, even then, it's not quite as difficult because guards will hate me saying this, but it's an easier position to play. To go from guard, we're used to having somebody each side of you at that point. You don't have to necessarily, in pass protection, move outside so much to kind of set that edge. It's a whole lot different than it is to play tackle. It's a ridiculous transition. The fact that Giants did it, like I said, I really think they just set this guy back big time. I really do think that. So, not to say I thought he was that good to begin with. I wasn't too happy with the pick when we made it, but we definitely didn't do any favors for him. That's for damn sure. So, all right, let's get into the running backs here.
And Jay, Chuck was definitely the first Iceman. So, unless you were talking about Val Kilmer, he definitely had Iceman before Chuck, but that's different.
Listen, we're talking Iceman. We're always talking Val Kilmer. Let's be very frank here. First off,
I mean, Chuck Liddell, man.
Nope.
I mean, Val Kilmer's no longer with us, but when the Iceman was the Iceman, he would knock out the other Iceman.
He's always the Iceman, along with Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat.
That's just Sub-Zero. It's completely different. Come on, man.
Let's get to these running backs, though. So we got 13 running backs to go over with you all tonight. So we're going to go different this year. We're going to go backwards. So we're going to start off with a guy that is an interesting case, that's for sure. So Seth McGowan is not an easy evaluation whatsoever because of the size, the early down usefulness, pretty obvious. But the full projection definitely comes with hesitation. There's talent there, but there's also real risk. So Seth was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, which is first off the first strike against him. Born in October of 2001. Who else feels old now? Like that was after 9/11. I feel old. So was raised in Mesquite, Texas, went to high school in Poteet High School, Mesquite, Texas, 6 foot even, 223 pounds, 24 years old, played at Oklahoma, Butler Community College, New Mexico State, Kentucky. It's a lot of schools, guys. We're going to get into why. But first, his strengths and weaknesses. He does have legitimate NFL size, especially for an early down runner. He's got strong lower body and straight line burst. He's got a very decisive one cut style. Like if you, and again, this is all style fits. There's different ways of being a running back, but he's that guy that will motion towards the gap. All of a sudden opens, and he takes that one cut into it, and he's done. He's going to go straight north south. That's it.
Yeah.
He shows better receiving utility than you would think most backs in his size. That's for sure. Again, he's not exactly a tiny guy at 223 pounds. He's not the little tiny little scat back kind of guy. He does have proven touchdown production, short yardage usefulness. He can also generate big chunk plays if the lane is clean. Like he's not the guy who's going to outrun somebody, but if you give him a big enough hole, he'll squeeze through it and figure out a way to make some yards out of it.
Ayo.
Weak. He's not very highly creative. His production at Kentucky was efficient, but not dominant on a per carry basis. He can also run a little bit too upright, meaning doesn't keep that low center of gravity at that point, gives the bigger target for someone to tackle.
And it's a big mistake in the NFL.
Yeah. Again, he does have some ability to be a receiver, but he also has a very basic route tree he used in college. So we don't know to what extent that receiving ability is there. Also, only one full season of Power 4 production. That's always a concern. He mostly was smaller schools there. He'll also need a medical review from a shoulder injury he had this year as well, so we don't know. As far as fit for the Giants specifically, he if we got him, he'd be a depth fit only. He's downhill size, red zone utility, which, again, there's a use in that. I'm not trying to downgrade it. There's a use in that.
It'll be an improvement from Eric Gray.
I would be an improvement over Eric Gray. But here's the problem is that we already have power and physicality in Cam Scatterbill. Like that's what I feel like we'd be kind of doubling down to a certain degree. So I think he's more of a backup piece. And if the Giants got him, that's what he'd be. But I don't even think he's a fit for the Giants. I think you'd want to get something a little different than what we already got.
Yeah. He's a talent. He's going to find a home in the NFL. He's going to have probably 6-year career, 7-year career as the second guy. Have a couple, be your RB3 in fantasy football with 10+ team leagues.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be the dominant top 10 receiver.
Running back.
Yeah, sorry, running back. Ooh.
So, a couple interesting facts. We did try to find some interesting facts on these kids for you guys. He apparently yoga. He does a lot of yoga. He enjoys yoga. And he also plays the clarinet. You don't see the clarinet being played often in locker rooms in the NFL, that's for sure. Let's get into his career overall. So he starts off at Oklahoma, and that's in 2020. 8 games, 58 rushes, 370 yards, 6.4 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, 13 receptions, 201 yards in the touchdown. He gets dismissed from the team. Now, keep in mind, college players, we all hear about the rumors, the different things that go on with college players. You have to really F up in a lot of places to get kicked off a team. Well, he was indicted on charges including robbery, conspiracy to commit robbery, and assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's why he's in yoga to make up for it.
He was accused of robbing a man of marijuana, cash, and they just called it personal items. I don't know what they were, just personal items. And there was a gun involved in this robbery as well, which, of course, escalates charges and all that kind of fun stuff. He pleaded guilty to larceny, and he got 1 year of probation, was then sent to prison boot camp, one of those like scared straight kind of program kind of things. No, don't come here, that kind of thing. I gotta be honest with you guys. This was like 5 years ago that stuff went down. I still would not touch this kid because of that. I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Like, listen, we're all young, we're all stupid, we all do dumb things. Rock would tell you all some stories of dumb things I've done. You know what I never
vice
did?
Versa.
You know what I never did? I never robbed a man of marijuana, cash, and personal item while holding a gun.
Personal item, his pipe.
I should say, we don't know if he held a gun. There was a gun involved in the incident. That's all we know. But regardless, that never happened.
That was just the pipe that he had. He had a bong, and people mistake it for a gun, whatever.
And I get it, like 1924, like there's a difference there at that point. You know, I get it. Like you're 19, you're a stupid kid. I don't care how stupid a kid I was. I wasn't doing that kind of stuff. You know, so I don't know, you know, if that's something I would be okay with there. Now, he goes back into school in 2023, goes to Butler Community College, plays 6 games there, 39 carries, 125 yards, so just a 3.2 yards per carry average, 4 touchdowns, 5 receptions, 104 yards. Somehow he gets moved up to the next level. Like, that's not good, guys. Let's be very frank. Those are not great numbers at a community college. Somehow he moves up to New Mexico State. New Mexico State, 12 games, 153 rushes, 813 yards to 5.3 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, 23 catches, 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, listen, he wins wins a couple of awards for, the conference and all. It's Conference USA. He was 2nd team All Conference USA, College Football Network, 3rd team All Conference USA. I mean, again, small school. This past year, it goes to Kentucky. Kentucky, not exactly the football powerhouse, but they play in SEC. They do play legit competition there. 11 games, 165 carries, 725 yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. Now, that part's impressive, 12 touchdowns. 19 receptions for 126 yards. Played in it got invited to the Panini Senior Bowl, which was Panini one. Like, what the hell? Sorry, was the Cuban sandwich bowl taken?
Well, yeah. Sometimes we want turkey just instead of turkey and ham.
Panini. He did have a shoulder injury this past year, as you mentioned as well. Had a shoulder injury versus Texas, ended up missing the game against Tennessee.
So again,
medical obviously would have to be checked out with that. Anybody's interested in them. But for me to go past what happened 5 years ago, maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm too old-fashioned. This is maybe a get off my lawn moment for me. For me to get over what happened 5 years ago, you would have had to crush it. Me to say, maybe I need to sit down and talk to this kid and see if he's anything special. You're telling me he spent 1 year at a legit school and he did 4.4 yards per carry.
There's a football play there. And yes, everyone makes mistakes.
We all do.
I've known some they've never held anyone up at a cut point with for some weed and some cash. But
except that one time.
Yeah, that one time. But people make mistakes, and there's some terrible things. You can say, I've known people who got DUIs or just drug charges, and they were in college, made dumb mistakes, and they're successful business people now. So who you are at 19 is not who you are at 23, 24, 25. And he's probably coming out of the draft at 22. So like people do make mistakes, but you also have to prove it. Like in the NFL, or in college, you have to prove that you're going out and making a difference instead of just playing football. So El Paso, I want to hear he was going out to community service, helping out the community. Hey, this is what you shouldn't do.
Now, for all fairness, he might be doing that. I just want to say that we don't know anything as far as that. I didn't look that part of it up, but I'll say this: I think part of the problem I run into is if you're telling me he's a free agent and I can pick him up and I can give him a chance to come to the training camp, I can get to know him, see how he works out and stuff like that. I'm probably more okay with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is when I only have so many people I can draft, he's going to get drafted. Only some people I can draft. Do I want to risk that with potential maturity, personality things? I just, that's where I'm at. I can't get past it because I'm not going to the time I would need to feel comfortable with him to be on the team.
Yeah. My thing is I want to see the improvement off the field.
Yeah.
So it comes from there. And the Giants have a legacy of not getting involved with players that have a messy pass.
Yeah, they just allow owners.
Yeah, that's it. Well, there's only enough room for one side or the other. So
yeah. I don't know. Except to me, I'm good. I don't see it. I don't see it the field, and then you throw the personality thing, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Next up.
And Jay, are you taking Rhonda or Gina? So
are people actually talking about that fight, really?
Of course, dude. Two legends.
Two legends, yes. If you put Sergeant Slaughter and Ric Flair in the ring, no one's watching, right?
No, there'll be a lot of people watching. Are you kidding?
That'd be insanity.
You're just out of touch.
See? Jay just wants to drink. Anyway.
You do that at home. Why would you go to an event to drink? They overpriced drinks.
Kalon Black is not just the flashy name that sometimes dominates some headlines there, but he's the downhill style, functional protection value that give him a real path to relevance there. He may not end up being one of the better. He may end up being one of the better value picks in this draft class, depending how things shake out there. So born in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So went to school in Salem High School there in Virginia Beach. 5'9 3/4. So I guess 5'10", we'll say.
That's definitely
208 pounds. 24 years old. Played at James Madison and Indiana. So if the name rings a bell when you're watching the national championship game and all, sounds so weird to say Indiana football in the national championship, but that's where we're at. That's probably why he's compact and he's got a sturdy build. He's a good got good lower body power. He's a physical runner. This is the tree trunk for legs kind of guy. He's also a patient runner, though, waits for the hole to open up. Got quick feet and clean, but again, a one-cut burst kind of guy. He's not the guy that's shifting and going all over the place. Runs through arm tackles. He's got good vision in traffic. His pass protection isn't great, but it's better than most of the mid-tier backs that you're going to come across in this draft class here. He also handled a decent workload in 2025 without losing any of his downhill abilities and who he was as a running back when he was still part of a stable of running backs in college there. So weakness-wise, not a very highly creative back. As I said, one-cut guy. Receiving ceiling is somewhat projection based is probably the best way to put it there. Um, you saw some early, pass game production when he was over there at James Madison, but you didn't really see it as much at Indiana. Um, he's definitely the more explicit than explosive kind of, more efficient than explosive kind of guy. So if you're looking for the guy who's just a steady, solid running back, not the guy who's going to be your home run threat, this could be the guy you're looking for. And I think part of what's going to scare some people is the fact that 2025 was kind of a breakout year for him. And that's after years of being part of a rotation, being a secondary option at 2 different schools. So that's always a little scary to see. But I don't think he's a fit really for the Giants there, to be honest with you. Unless you again, if we're bringing him as a third down back, third back to compete with Devin Singletary. He's again one cut ability, he's down his style, he's got okay pass protections. There's some things you can like, but he also overlaps heavily again with what Cam Scadaboo does.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Scadaboo's better, I think. You've seen some success at a Scadaboo. You've seen he actually be a better receiver. It's not just projection. You've seen it.
And there's also we had way more hype on Scadaboo coming out of the draft of just what he did in Arizona. So, yeah, he's got a strong lower body. I think he plays a little more like Singletary in his senior days, but I just don't see anything
special except the age and the cheap contract.
Well, that's it. But if you just played Singletary like that now, why are you going to get a guy like him at way less that you're not going to play? When you have the opportunity to get someone else, or wait till next year. You got Tracy and Scadaboo for that time as well.
And again, when I say age, I should point out again, 24 years old. He's not 21, 22. He's kind of on the older side for running back, because he's been around for a while. So I don't know. So here's the stats we got though. So it starts with James Madison again back in 2020. This is the last year. I keep on hoping it's to be the last year. I guess this is the last year for the COVID year for kids.
We'll see.
Only 2 games, 25 carries, 170 yards. 6.8 yards per carry to touchdown. That's his red shirt season. He literally played a couple games. They red shirted him. 21, just 3 games, 27 attempts, 165 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, 3 receptions for 55 yards, and played just the 3 games that had an injury. Then 22, again, James Madison, 9 games, 69 catches. 69 rushes, 333 yards, 4.8 yards per carry average, 3 touchdowns, 17 catches, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, he wins a Rookie of the Year award in the conference, wins an honor roll award. Weird because it's his 3rd season. They're counting it as a rookie season for him, basically, because he got hurt and he got redshirted. It's weird to be competing with kids right out of high school when you're 3rd year in college.
I'm a junior, but let's go, freshman.
Yeah. So 23 last year at James Madison, 13 games. So finally a full season. 142 rushes, 637 yards. That's 4.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown, 27 catches, 254 yards, 4 touchdowns. Again, nothing special. Then he goes to Indiana. Becomes another depth piece guy there. 46 rushes, 251 yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches, 6 yards. That's at 13 games in Indiana. So, again, depth piece. Finally, this past season, he gets used as a regular workhorse kind of running back. Plays in 16 games, 186 rushes, 1,040 yards, 5.6 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns, just 4 catches for 36 yards. And this is what I was saying about you see some stuff at James Madison pass-wise. You saw some, a few hundred yards kind of seasons. 2 years at Indiana, he had 8 catches for 42 yards. They didn't really seem to want to use him that way for whatever reason. But even then, again, he wasn't a dominant running back. He just wasn't a bad running back. And he's 24 years old. If I'm going to take a chance on a running back, in a very bad running back draft class, by the way, I want a guy that has, okay, he's amazing because of blank. Or I see potential because of blank.
Or I'm desperate because I don't have.
That's the whole thing. We're not desperate. We're not desperate. We got Scottaboo. We got Tracy. There's no desperation there. Yeah. I said, I'm good there. So next up, number 11, Jamari Taylor, who's one of the better stories in the class because he jumped levels, kept producing. And the question now is basically how high the ceiling really goes once the traits and projections get stacked against bigger names, because he's had a kind of a weird intro to his football career. Born in Charlotte, went to high school at West Mecklenburg. I don't know how to pronounce his high school. Now that here's where the height gets ridiculous. 5'9" and 7/8, at least 5'10", goddamn it. 199 pounds. Again, 24 years old. Another one on their older side there. So started most of his career, I should say, was at North Carolina Central, which you've never heard of. You're not the only one. And played 1 year at Virginia there. So his 2020 season was canceled because of COVID. So again, another COVID kind of thing there here for us. Hopefully the last year for that. 21, he played 4 games at North Carolina Central. Didn't get in the games at all. 22, we finally see him on the field. 12 games, 87 rushes, 421 yards to 4.8 yards per carry average, 7 touchdowns, 9 receptions, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gets the all, and I don't know how to pronounce this conference. It's so tiny. I'm not going to look up North Carolina Central. I'm sorry. I'm not that dedicated. So the all MEAC, is it MEAC? MEAC? Is it we're gonna call it the third MEAC. Third MEAC, the all MEAC third team. So it's just then goes and plays there again in 23, 11 games, 71 rushes, 321 yards, 4.5 yards per carry average, 1 touchdown, 16 rushes, 229 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Still nothing impressive. Unless you look at it from the perspective that he was literally a walk-on at North Carolina Central. Like, he got no offers for anybody. So at least you're seeing a little bit of development here. Like, he sit around for a year or two, then becomes a part-time player. Now in 24, he becomes their lead back. 11 games, 196 rushes, 1,146 yards, a 5.8 yards per carry average, 15 touchdowns. 30 receptions, 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, gets be a finalist for the Walter Payton Award. First team all, we're going to call it MEAC. I have no how to pronounce it.
MEAC.
It sounds like an alien, MEAC.
You sound like the troll from Ernest Scared Stupid. MEAC.
So he goes and transfers over to Virginia. Wants to play with the big boys here. 13 games, 222 rushes, 1,062 yards, 4.8 yards per carry average, 14 touchdowns, 43 receptions for 253 yards and a touchdown. Even throws 1 pass, which goes for a touchdown. 1-yard touchdown, nice. By the way. So, awards. First team all ACC. Like, think about it. You went from North Carolina Central to Virginia and became first team all ACC. I give props to that. AP first team all ACC. Phil Steele honorable mention All America. Senior Bowl invite. The Bullsworth Trophy semifinalist as well. So again, decent career here. He's
made an improvement.
I mean, that's the thing. You see the improvement, but you also see the fact that he's been in college forever and he's 24 years old. That's what kind of scares you, you know?
Yeah, it's how much did he give to college? How much can he produce in the NFL? Is he going to be worth a late round pick?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. But he is, as far as pros and cons, compact, dense build, very good contact balance and leg drive through hits. So like this is not a guy you easily get down. You have to like legit tackle this guy. He's a very patient runner. He's got a good sudden burst and jump cut ability. He transitions well from moving laterally to going back to north and south. That's a skill you don't hear about very often in running backs enough. That's a very big skill nowadays, the way the running games are. He's a useful receiving back. He also has proven that, again, he can transfer from FCS and still produce ACC level immediately. That's something that's very competitive. You see that in interviews and all, like you see, like he's got that drive. Again, we talked before. You can't change that. You either have it or you don't. Weaknesses there, not the best of pass protection. Smaller than most NFL backs. Again, only 1 year of an FBS sample. He's definitely more efficient than improvisational. His long-term ceiling may be capped at a quality like rotational back at best case scenario, because again, he's 24 years old. It's not like you're sitting there going, he's so young, I can develop this kid. Like, this guy's 3 years younger than him in this draft.
Yeah, I mean, he's another guy that's going to have a career in the NFL. I mean, who's the running back that just had our number? Scott from the Eagles.
Oh, yeah, he just retired. Yeah, Boston Scott today, he retired.
Yeah, who literally, like, that's kind of how it sounds. Like, rotation piece, he maybe picks apart one team that's in this division and goes somewhere else and doesn't do much.
I think the big thing for me is the fact that he went to such a small school for so many years. That's the only thing I give him, like, okay, he didn't necessarily get top-level coaching. He didn't necessarily get a lot of time at a big school and a big program. Like, maybe there's some room for growth because of that. You know, so I mean, he definitely considered like quietly like a good fit for us if we want to bring a guy in to compete with Singletary. I do think that. You know, he's compact, he's decisive, he's useful in the pass game. So there's a rotational skill in there for him.
And he's got that finesse.
Yeah. You know? But he's the guy he's not great at anything, but he's not horrible at anything. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel like that's the issue, is that he's a versatile guy, but he's not great at anything to create an obvious role either. But, you know, maybe he's a guy that does compete for, you know, a rotation piece, and that's fine. There's plenty of guys who've been a rotational running back that have made quite the career. You know, maybe Jamari Taylor's that guy. Nothing wrong with that.
Could be, but El Paso.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of El Paso in this running back group, guys. Just giving fair warning. Next up, Katron Allen, who is one of those guys I feel like is a little bigger of a name than a lot of the other running backs in here because he's part of a decent 1-2 punch there at Penn State. But Katron Allen may not be the flashiest pick in the group, but he may be one of the easiest to trust snap after snap. The issue is basically like whether he's safe and productive enough to crack the very top tier of being like a starting caliber running back in the NFL. His nickname, I love the nickname. His nickname is Fat Man. He's born in Norfolk, Virginia, went to school in nearby to me, IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, where a lot of kids go to school that go to the NFL. It's like one of those kind of camps, so to speak, for people that are really good at sports. He's 5'11" and a half base, he will call. He's 5'11", 3/8. 216 pounds, 23 years old, so at least 1 year younger than the previous guys have been. Started school in 22, though. Yes, he started school after COVID. Oof, finally.
Yay.
13 games in 22, 167 rushes, 867 yards, 5.2 yards per carry average, and 10 touchdowns. 20 catches, 188 yards, and 1 touchdown. He was honorable mention All Big Ten from the media. He was College Football News Freshman All-American, and he was named Penn State's most valuable offensive player that year as a rookie, basically, as a freshman.
Crazy.
Next up, 13 games in 23, 172 rushes, 902 yards, 5.2 yards per carry average, 6 touchdowns, 14 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. He's second team All Big Ten from the coaches, third team All Big Ten by the media, and again, one of the Penn State offensive MVP as well. 24. 16 games, 220 carries, and now he's getting real carries now. 1,108 yards, 5 yards per carry average, 8 touchdowns. 18 catches, 153 yards, and 2 touchdowns. All Big Ten honorable mention from the media. This past year, which, by the way, guys, this past year, he was thought he'd be the backup. He'd be number 2. Nope. He was number 1. Number 2, honestly, is actually higher on the list. And number 1 is actually higher on the list. The number 2 is higher on the list than number 1. We'll get to that. That's a little bit of a quandary, what's going on in Penn State with the running backs here. 12 games, 210 carries, 1,303 yards, 6.2 yards per carry average, 15 touchdowns. It's a hell of a season. 18 catches for 68 yards on top of that. First team All Big Ten coaches and media. AFCA second team All-American. AP third team All-American. On3 second team All-American. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week winner as well this year.
So did it right first. Being the backup.
So strength and weakness is why. He's excellent vision between the tackles. He's a very good inside runner. He's got good contact balance. He's patient but decisive. Consistently falls forward to squeeze extra yards as well. Good in short yardage situations. Has enough short yardage quickness to navigate through the traffic a little bit there. And he's an experienced, productive back. I actually kind of like him. And I feel like he's got a role. We'll get to that in a minute, but I like him. Weaknesses wise, he does lack true breakaway speed. He's more definitely efficient than dynamic. His receiving resume is definitely very modest. It didn't show a very broad route tree. He's got short arms, which kind of means obviously catch rate is not the best. And probably the best NFL projection for him probably is just part of the backfield, not a centerpiece. You know. And again, I like him, but I don't like him for the Giants necessarily because he's a redundant fit with Cam Scatterbo again. Another guy that just, I mean, he's a north-south runner. He's a short yardage back. That's what he is. And it's a shame we've gotten through a couple of those guys already that I say that are kind of redundant with what Scatterbo does, but it's the truth. He's got vision. He's got contact balance. He's good at short yardage stuff. This is all stuff we talk about with Scatterbo all the time. So, to me, he's not a fit for the Giants for that reason. But he's a fit for somebody that needs a short yardage back kind of guy that they hope they can develop into something more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that's where I'm at with him. So, all right. Jaden O might be one of the hardest players in this draft class to place because the healthy version and the injured version tell two different stories there. If you trust the healthy tape, the upside is very easy to see, though. He's from Chino, California, went to Norco High School and Bishop Gorman High School. 5'10" and 7/8, so we'll say 5'11", 202 pounds, 23 years old. Played a lot of his career at California, played last year over at Oklahoma. And listen, I mean, again, the durability issues is where it's at. So he starts off at California and starts off hot. You know, it's 12 games, 170 rushes, 897 yards, 5.3 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, 46 receptions for 321 yards and 3 touchdowns. So you're talking basically, 1,200 yards plus as a freshman. That's not a bad freshman year, guys. That's really not.
Not at all.
First team freshman All-American from the Athletic. Second team freshman All-American from the College Football News. Honorable mention All Pac-12. Next year, again, you expected a better year, right? You get one. 12 games, 245 carries, 1,315 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. 25 catches, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3 kick returns for 144 yards and a touchdown on top of that. First team All Pac-12. Polynesian College Football Player of the Year finalist. Then it all starts falling apart. 10 games, 116 yards, 116 carries, 385 yards, 3.3 yards per carry average, 4 touchdowns, 24 catches, 222 yards and a touchdown. Had a right ankle injury that he got in the season opener. Played throughout most of the season, but was just never right. You could tell the injury was bothering him the entire year. So transfers to Oklahoma. Change of pace here. Go to big school. Not the Cal small school, but Oklahoma, you can play a little more tougher competition, I think. 7 games, 21 carries, 68 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, no touchdowns. 2 catches, 10 yards, no touchdowns. Got a shoulder injury in fall camp, and he was just never right. So do you trust the first 2 years, or do you trust the third and fourth year?
That's a hard one. I mean,
right?
You're getting them late, but if we go on statistics alone, like, just you gotta move on. Unless you're looking at like a 6th-round draft pick or something, which is not going to happen.
It's a bad running back class.
Exactly.
So
you're going to take them high.
But I'm saying you're more apt to take the risk because if you need a running back.
Yeah, we don't need it. El Paso, I mean, we were very high in Penix, and
he was the quarterback.
And he was healthier towards the end. It was great at the beginning, and he's not looking healthy in the NFL.
Again.
So, yep.
Hopefully we're right by the end of it, though. I just like being right. But here's strength and weaknesses. He's a patient runner with good vision, quick feet, lateral agility to slide through tight creases. He's a natural receiving running back with proven production, reliable hands. He can create yards in clutter. So meaning like he can scoot through the crowd of people, so to speak, there on the defense. He's got experience in both volume rushing and pass game involvement. He's got flashes of pass protection, not horrible. So, but he's got pass protection flashes there. But his healthy Cal tape just shows legitimate NFL talent. That's
as long as it's
legit talent. So, weaknesses, durability. Safe to say that's a weakness, right? Durability.
Yeah, pretty banged up, and he hasn't played like. Granted, like
years
he played through the injury of the one season, but like it just I don't think you're trusting because is that something lingering on?
I feel like the medical is just so important with him. Like having your medical team look at him and see what they think. Like, is this just bad luck and back-to-back years with injuries, or is this like this is what you're gonna get?
It's gonna carry. It's gonna hurt his knee again, or
I don't know. I don't know. So not a true elite athlete, but again, he had the production. So it's like, you know me, I'm not much of the underwear Olympics kind of guy. I care about what he do on the field. Sometimes he does get a little eager when he's hunting for a big explosive plays, kind of like what Saquon used to do when he was with the Giants. Runs somewhat upright at times, again, giving that big target. And he's not built to be a consistent pile mover or a short yardage hammer kind of guy. So if somebody likes him and he does good and you want to use him as more of a feature back, you're going to still have to put him with somebody that can get that short yardage. It's just not what he does.
Yeah.
So, Giants wise, honestly, a bad schematic fit. You know, I don't know. The problem I run into is when he's healthy, he's got good running ability, receiving value. He does a lot of nice things that are hard. Like you can do it or you can't do it kind of stuff physically. Like he does that stuff. But the injury stuff, like you got Scott already coming off a big injury. You got Tracy's been hurt the last 2 years.
Yeah, you want to draft someone healthy. He's kind of coming over here. Like he does have a spot in the NFL, but not with the Giants.
Yeah, like I said, a legit player. I think he's got it. he's going to be that boomer bust pick. Either he'll get healthy and go back to being a decent player again, or he'll be the guy who is just always hurt. But he's got a higher ceiling than most of the people on this list. But he's also got a lower floor.
Yeah, not worth the gamble.
No, not for the Giants specifically, because we don't need to gamble. But let's say you're a team that needs a running back really badly, and you're into like day 3, and you're like, oh, where am I going to get this from? Like, I need a running back. Maybe you take the risk.
You're going to get him in the Titans.
No, I think the Titans will have a good running back. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But
yeah.
Number 7, Le'Veon Moss, who brings real inside running value, contact balance, and enough straight line speed to matter. The issue is whether the durability concerns stop him from rising higher in the class. So he's from Walker, Louisiana, not Texas Ranger. Went to school in Istroma College Prep in Baton Rouge. 5'11", 203 pounds. 23 years old. Played for Texas A&M his whole college career. Kudos to you, sir. Finally, somebody did a whole college career at one school. You just don't see that much anymore. And again, it's been just issues injury-wise, issues durability-wise. So starts off in 22 at Texas A&M, 7 games, 27 carries, 114 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, touchdown, 1 catch for 8 yards. But that's his freshman year. That's wasn't an injury thing. He just wasn't being used much yet. 23, 9 games, 96 carries, 484 yards, 5 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns, 11 catches, 84 yards. Again, not really, he's one of the pieces, not the main piece yet.
Yeah. He's a Robin.
24, that's when they really started to use him. 9 games in. Season-ending leg and knee injury versus South Carolina. 121 rushes, 765 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns. 6.3 yards per carry. Texas A&M plays legit schools, guys.
Yeah.
10 catches, 141 yards. Second team all SEC, and Texas A&M offensive MVP. This past year, 7 games, 77 carries, 404 yards, 5.2 yards per carry average, 6 touchdowns, 2 catches, 3 yards. Has an ankle injury versus Florida, missed 6 games. Ended up returning for the playoff game they had versus Miami. Obviously, they lost that game, but still came down into it. Again,
shows character.
That does, especially when if it was planning on coming out. You're right to give him credit on that. Especially if he planned on coming out, he knew he was risking. God forbid he got hurt again. But strengths and weaknesses. Dense with good lower body power. Runs with forward lean and consistently falls ahead. Very good contact balance. He's patient, yet generally decisive once a crease does appear. Builds speed up pretty quickly. Like he's that shutter on kind of guy. Picking up the eraser at school, you know that. Definitely better straight line speed than you expect to backs his size, that's for sure. He's got good vision for interior runs. He's produced well after contact and handled the red zone pretty well. He's got a track background as well, and you can see he's got that. Weaknesses wise, durability again, missed times in 24 and 25. Receiving resume is kind of limited. Not a very highly dynamic lateral creator in tight quarters. He can also, again, another guy gets a little uptight there through traffic. So again, it gives that big target. He's less productive when forced to bounce to the outside. Can't stall and improvise. He's that straight down north-south. Pass protection results were kind of mixed. So again, as far as the Giants fit, I don't think he's an upgrade for us. Unless you think you're getting back to, what he's been the last couple of years when healthy, and you think he's an upgrade over Singletary. Again, Singletary is the one guy I'm going to mention, because if you're telling me I got to pick between this guy and Tracy, no. This guy and Scottible, no.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's not like you're drafting him to start off right away. case Scanaboo is still a little banged up, and you want him to mix it with Tracy. Like it doesn't make sense.
No, yeah, no. The whole thing doesn't.
Yeah,
the whole thing doesn't make sense at all. So, all right. Before we get going, the next ones, let's pay the bills real quick here. So, of course, we got to remind everybody that the best way to support the show is at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. With that, of course, you can buy us a beer, do monthly support payments, or if you want to be interested again in our draft guide that we're creating here, and specifically geared towards how players fit, in the NFL, but also for the Giants specifically. I'll put the link in the chat there. And JS, when do I get the draft report? I already told you, you're getting it soon. Don't you worry. So, with that, then of course we also have our store, and I don't know where Rob. We lost Rob. Oh no. 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com, where of course you can get shirts, towels, mugs, travel mugs, pins, all kinds of fun stuff. We of course have our new pancake collection there in honor of our newest fullback there, of course, available. Just came out a couple days ago. And with that, of course, we still have the special of any purchase over $100, automatically free shipping as well. So, all right, let's get back into it here. But we did lose Rob. Find out where he went off to there. Before we get going, though, to the next one there, and Jay and Anthony, I already see you as well. You're getting it too. Don't worry, I already got you covered. Before we get going, guys, we got just 6 thumbs up here today, guys. Do me a favor, make sure you're on YouTube, you're hitting that thumbs up, because that really does push it out to everybody there in the YouTube land. So, let's get to the next player here. We got Nicholas Singleton. Nicholas Singleton has the kind of size, speed, profile that just makes people want to put him near the top immediately. But if the vision and medical questions stay in the picture, the running back one case is not exactly automatic. Comes from Shillington, Pennsylvania. Went to school at Governor McFillin High School in Shillington, I don't know. There must be a history behind that. I don't know. Just barely over 6 foot, 6 foot and a quarter, 219 pounds, 22 years old. Penn State guy. We said there's a second Penn State guy coming. Here he is. And again, another guy stayed the entire time at one school. 13 games there at Penn State in 22, 156 carries, 1,061 yards, 6.8 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns, 11 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown, 14 kick returns, 349 yards and a touchdown there. Got the Big Ten Thompson Randall L. Freshman of the Year Award, AP Big Ten Newcomer of the Year Award, the Football Writers Association Freshman All-American, ESPN and On 3 and 247 Sports True Freshman All-American, All Big Ten third team, All Big Ten second team as a return specialist. So amazing year for him. That's a great way to start your freaking college career, guys. 13 games, 171 carries, 752 yards, 4.4 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns. So it was gone down. 26 receptions, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 kick returns for 313 yards. Still gets all Big Ten third team, academic, all Big Ten, and Penn State offensive MVP. But let's be honest, guys, that's a downfall from the prior year. 15 games, 172 carries, 1,099 yards, 6.4 yards per carry average, 12 touchdowns, 41 catches, 375 yards, 5 touchdowns, got 14 kick returns to that point, and 331 yards. All Big Ten, honorable mention as a running back and a return specialist. So again, good second year. He comes into this year, and people think this is going to be the breakout year for him. People think this is the year he's going to take that level and become that elite runner. Instead, 12 games, 123 carries, 549 yards, 4.5 yards per carry average, 13 touchdowns, 24 catches, 219 yards and a touchdown, 7 returns for 145 yards. So not exactly a great season there, but he also broke his 5th metatarsal in his right foot during Senior Bowl practice after the season, underwent surgery, and didn't take part of any of the combine field drills. So now you throw in bad year he's coming off, but on top of that, you got a medical issue here that you got to watch out and see how the foot's doing. Foot's kind of an important part of being a running back. You can't run without a good foot. Strength and weaknesses wise, he's got rare acceleration and long speed for his size. He's explosive through clear creases. He builds power. He's hard to square up once he's rolling. He is a natural receiving back, comfortable on swings, screens, wheels, and detached alignments. So you kind of throw him up anywhere there as a receiver even. He's a good pass protector. That's very rare, guys, out of a college running back. He is a good pass protector. He's got a strong resume of getting into the end zone. He's got that finishing ability there. I like him, especially throw in the kick return background. Like, if you want to get into the league as a backup, which is where he's going to be at, obviously, special teams is usually the way to do it. That's where he's at. Weaknesses. Vision can run inconsistent sometimes when it gets that first read wrong, and then it kind of messes up the play. He's too often a linear runner who leaves a little hidden yardage there. Kind of just takes his one cut and he's done. And sometimes you can take one more slight turn and just doesn't see it always. He's just not creative in tight quarters is the problem. His efficiency and his workload definitely dropped in 2025 compared to 2024. And then you throw in the medical. But I think he's actually an upgrade. Like before, we're talking about like people that could fight with Devin Singletary for a job. I actually think this is the first guy I'm legit going to sit there and say he's an upgrade over Devin Singletary because you throw in the special teams, because you throw in the youth, because you throw in the cheaper contract, the long term, you throw in the fact that you've seen flashes of it. He's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the pass game value, he's got the touchdown production. Can you get it consistent? He's had a good year, bad year, good year, bad year, like he's done. That's the thing. And I don't pretend to know him, obviously, where I know, is this a coach thing? Is it something that he's doing something and players are just seeing things all of a sudden? They go, okay, well, no, this is what he does. This is his tell. There's something going on along those lines. And, if somebody figures that out and gets this kid running steady, he could be really, really special, I think. But, you got to find that connection to get that going there. So, all right, number 5, Jonah Coleman, who might be one of the safest all-around evaluations this draft class. So really the debate is whether steadiness, pass protection, and contact balance are enough to offset any true breakaway kind of stuff. This is not the guy that's going to be like, you're not going to go, okay, this is a definite number 1. He's going to run for 1,500 yards. Like, that would be extremely shocking. Extremely shocking. So, born in Stockton, California, went to high school in Lincoln High School in Stockton. 5'8", 220 pounds, 22 years old, just turned 23 in August. Started his career a couple of years in Arizona, then went to Washington. So 2022, 12 games, 75 carries, 372 yards, 5.0 yards per carry, 4 touchdowns, 8 catches, 24 yards. In 23, 13 games, 128 catches, 871 yards, 6.8 yards per carry average, and 5 touchdowns. 25 catches, 283 yards, and a touchdown. Honorable mention, all Pac-12. Goes off to Washington. And all of a sudden, great couple of years here. So, 13 games in 24. 193 carries, 1,053 yards, 5.5 yards per carry average, 10 touchdowns. 23 catches, 177 yards. 3rd team All Big Ten. That's for the media. Honorable mention All Big Ten from the coaches. So again, kind of like a breakout year for him there. This past year, 12 games, 156 catches, 758 yards, a 4.9 yards per carry average, and 15 touchdowns. 31 catches, 354 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Honorable mention, all Big Ten from the coaches and media. The Paul Hornig Award finalist, William V. Campbell Trophy finalist, first team All Academia All-American. Does have a lower body injury, though, versus Wisconsin. Missed the Purdue game and returned a limited role against UCLA, so we did miss a little bit of time with injury. But he's been healthy. This is not the guy. We've had a couple of guys in there who's been injured all the time. This is not that guy. He's been healthy for most of his career here. He's compact, dense build. He's got a low center of gravity. He's very good at contact and finishing forward there. Patient runner. He processes quickly between the tackles, which is a skill. If you don't have a lot of time in the NFL, sometimes you get guys in the college that can go ahead and, don't process as well, but, they can go ahead and make it in college. He's got less time. You have more time at that point, NFL, you don't get the time. You got to go quick because we get Rob back.
Gotta go.
So he's got functionality as a receiver, swings, screens, checkdowns. You saw that when he was, in college. Pass protection is actually one of the better parts of his profile as well. And again, that's something that most guys don't come into the NFL very good at pass protection. Every year we do these videos. We talk about guys who cannot pass protect. This kid comes in, I feel like, into the league as a potential third down running back and fits a role. And that's where I'm saying that there's a talk here. Like, would you rather get a guy who's got injury issues, personality concerns, but has shown you he could be a legit stud college back? Or would you rather get a guy that's maybe not been the A tier, but he's been the B tier, but he's been consistent, steady, what kind of role he's going to have in the NFL?
It depends on your needs.
It depends on your needs, 100%.
Depends on your needs. As a Giants, I think you go for an consistent guy. You know what you're going to get out of him. That seems like to be their way. And you already got two guys you can trust. So you can kind of sit back and develop. When it comes to injuries, we have enough problems with injuries.
Oh, yeah, but this guy specifically, I feel like he's like, we talked a lot about Scadaboo and people kind of overlapping. Jonah Coleman is Scadaboo, basically. Like, he's got more weight to him, though, too, which is the scary part. But he's that run north-south, does a little bit of move in there for the most part. He's a little more agile than you would think at his size he'd be. He catches the ball well. He does decent pass protection. That is Scadaboo.
Yeah. So bring him on, get rid of Scadaboo?
No, I'm not suggesting that in any way, shape, or form. I'm saying we don't get him for that reason. Now, as far as cons, he lacks true breakaway speed, doesn't threaten as an outside runner. He's got good burst, but not great. He's a little slower feet in traffic there sometimes. He's more slippery than he is sometimes a tackle breaker, which is a little weird. Like, he runs right north and south a lot of times, doesn't go outside, but sometimes he just makes that sudden move and gets out of the way as opposed to just barrel rushing into him. That's the one way he's a little different than Scadaboo. Shorter build, so limited catch radius, obviously. And his senior level there in 25 definitely dropped a little bit from the 24. So,
yeah. Scadaboo had the opposite.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying as far as just player profile, I think I definitely see the similarity. So, all right, guys, we're getting to the legit guys here now. I apologize, y'all. I know this is running back is not an exciting class this year, guys. I admit it freely. I told you guys this up front. But we're going to still go through every single group no matter what. It's what we do. So, Money Mike says we signed him. We got him. We got to see what's going on here real quick. Somehow I don't think he's talking about Josh Ezeudu.
Of course he's talking about Josh Ezeudu.
Money Mike. Who's he talking about here? I don't even know who he's talking about. Oh, just kidding. We ain't signed anybody. That's messed up, Money Mike. And it's funny. I'm really on because if something happens, someone says something happened live on the show, I'll just throw it to profootballrumors.com. I'll give them their props because it's a really good website that kind of combines everything into one spot for you, and you can even search it by team. So, like I said, the like I said, I was just like excited. We signed somebody. Maybe Money Mike. Maybe you're just excited about Josh Ezeudu still. Maybe that's what it is. It's okay if you're with the Josh Ezeudu fan club.
There's not many of you out there, but
there's not a lot left. You're the last one. So next up, we got Mike Washington Jr. And listen, Mike Washington Jr. is one of the biggest trait bets because he's got a legit size speed profile. But when ball security issue is allowed, the projection gets pretty risky pretty fast there, guys. Listen, Mike was born in Utica, New York. He's a New York guy. Went to Cicero North Syracuse High School. 6'1", 223 pounds, 22 years old. Does turn 23 in July. Guys, that's like prototype size, though. Now,
yeah, and he's fast.
We talked about a lot of guys like, okay, 1 school, 2 schools. Here's 3 schools. Buffalo for 3 years. Then a year at New Mexico State. Then a year at Arkansas.
Go Razorbacks.
So starts at Buffalo in 21, 3 games, 23 carries, 132 yards, 5.7 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. It's a redshirt season for him. 22, 13 games, 120 carries, 625 yards, 5.2 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, 23 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Not bad for a first legit year, you know? Last year, 11 games, 90 rushes, 362 yards, 4 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns, 13 catches, 35 yards. Definitely a downgrade on production, but also production size. So he transfers to New Mexico State. Oh, yes, the great school of New Mexico State.
Coleman the single moms.
Goddamn. 12 games, 158 rushes, 713 yards, 4.5 yards per carry average, 8 touchdowns, 9 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Second team All-Conference USA. So does a little better at a bigger school than Buffalo, you know? Goes to Arkansas now. Not many people would say Arkansas is a upgrade for most scenarios, but this is one of those scenarios it is. 12 games, 167 catches, 1,070 yards, 6.4 yards per carry, 8 touchdowns, 28 catches, 226 yards, and a touchdown. Second team All SEC from the coaches. Second team AP All SEC as well. So really good year. Like you went to the SEC, you went to the top conference, and all of a sudden balled out. 6.4 yards per carry, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns in the SEC. That's legit. Especially you're at Arkansas. It's not like you're at Georgia, Alabama, where you got like 5 different other guys going to be first-round picks around you. You know what I mean? Like, you're the guy.
He balled.
Yeah, he did. So we got to give him his props. Strength and weakness-wise, he's got, like I said, he's got rare speed and size combo. He's got prototypical size. He ran a 4.3 340 at the combine, which is the top for all running backs. Yes, he beat Love. And if someone's going to ask, I mean that. He was top. He builds momentum quickly. He's a downhill runner. He's decisive. He's got a really explosive play. He's functional as a receiving back on checkdowns and screens. He's not going to be your next Christian McCaffrey, but he's got some abilities there. And his big play profile really improved against SEC competition in 2025. Like he had more big plays that year, this past year, than he's had ever. Weaknesses. This is the big one. Ball security.
Yeah.
8 fumbles in the last 2 years. 16 fumbles total in 588 carries. That's not good, guys. In fact, that is horrendous.
Tiki Barber there?
Tiki Barber was better than that. So, his pass protection needs work. His receiving production, again, is useful, but he's a limited route tree. He's not a guy who's been all over the place as a receiver. And it's got to be a little scary if you're a guy who's going to draft him, because he's going to be a little higher. He's going to be like a potential late day 2 guy. That you're getting him off of one really good year. You know, like, why didn't he dominate in Buffalo? Why did he not dominate in New Mexico?
I mean,
questions.
It's legit questions, but we had the same questions about Scotty coming out last year.
Yeah.
So it's a fair question. But they go for, like, I don't know how much of a fit to the Giants he really is.
He's not a fit at all in my mind.
Yeah. I was trying to nicely say that there. But
I'll be blunt.
But, I mean, he's definitely going to find a home in the NFL.
There's a team that's going to, again, this is what we were saying before about the traits whole thing, because he's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got the size. He was actually a former linebacker in high school, and you can see that when he hits into people, he hits like a linebacker.
Yeah.
Like, legit, he's got that mentality.
When he runs, he looks like a Mack truck. Like, that's what it is.
He's that guy that you're getting him based on potential and based on him actually fitting those traits and seeing those traits in the field, not just on the track and in Indianapolis at the combine. And someone is going to go ahead and take him early because of that. You know? And it's funny, Dorothy just said, did we talk about Mike Washington yet? We're literally talking about him right now. You know, but he's a guy that if you're reaching for a running back because you absolutely need one, and you're looking for a guy that you hope can be the boom guy for you, this is what Mike Washington is. But if you're looking for the guy that you think is going to be a steady, consistent guy who's going to be part of a good running back group and he's going to fit a role immediately, I don't know that that's him. Because here's what's going to happen if you're a running back group. What happens the first time you fumble the ball? You get benched. You do it again, you're benched. You do it again, you're benched for good. Like, someone's got to figure out why he's fumbling so much.
I mean, that's something that could be coached. So, like, I could see, like, Kansas City going after this guy.
Well, Kansas City's got Kenneth Walker, so I don't know if they would do that along with Kenneth Walker. I think if you
would do that,
Kenneth Walker, you get a guy who's a really good pass protection guy, a good receiving back, kind of like a Zach Charbonnet was with him in Seattle.
He could be, or I mean, you get him like in the second round.
Anthony solved the problem. Maybe he needs new gloves.
Definitely.
That's it. It's the gloves. No glove, no love.
I'm saying I just wouldn't be surprised to see like that.
Sponsored by Isotoner. But yeah, like I said, I just don't think he's a fit. I think he's that guy that someone's going to reach and take him early because of the skills he has physically, not because of what he's done consistently on the field. Because he's only had the one good year. And listen, sometimes when you boom or bust, you hit boom. But a lot of times you hit bust.
Yeah.
So I'm good there. All right. Let's get into E-Money. Emmett Johnson. His nickname E-Money. Emmett Johnson has one of the strongest modern back profiles in this class because of his receiving production, dual threat value. But the real debate here is whether that translates into upper tier value or just a very good complementary role. I got to say up front, this is my guy that I think is underrated in this draft class.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just going to throw that out there right off the bat. 5'10" and a quarter. 202 pounds. Played in Nebraska. And listen, there's always been good running backs and all coming out of Nebraska. That's just one of those schools.
Yeah, right through the cornfields.
4 games in 22, redshirt season, didn't see the field. 23. 12 games, 90 carries, 411 yards, 4.6 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, 7 catches, 46 yards. It's okay for a first year actually playing. 13 games, 117 carries, 598 yards, 5.1 yards per carry average, 1 touchdown, 39 catches, 287 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 25 this past year. 12 games, 251 rushes, 1,451 yards, guys. 5.8 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. 46 catches, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns. This guy got over 1,800 yards.
Absolutely ridiculous.
That's a legit season. Big Ten running back of the year. First team All Big Ten, both coaches and media. First team All American on 3, CBS Sports, Sports Illustrated, Sporting News. Second team All American, Walter Camp in The Athletic. Maxwell Award semifinalist. Doak Walker Award semifinalist. Now, keep in mind with that, this is with him opting out of the bowl game and declaring for the draft. Like, he could have had another game. He could have hit 2,000 yards.
Crazy.
In the Big Ten, again, he's not playing at Boise State like somebody last year. Like, not trying to knock the guy, but he played at a small school. This is a legit conference. So like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of him. He's very productive. He's a dual back threat. He's a patient runner. He's got good vision. He's decisive, getting north to south. Quick feet. Got good short area cuts. Again, a useful receiving back. That's legit. I love dual threat backs. I always have. You've seen the volume load with him and production in the receiving game. He handled a legit workload in 2025. No efficiency collapsing whatsoever. Consistent week-to-week producer. Like, he wasn't the good game, bad game, good game, bad game. No, he was just consistent straight across the line. And that's all against power 4 competition, guys. Compact frame. He's low center of gravity. I don't know why this kid's not getting more hype. I really don't, to be honest with you. And I think the only reason I can think of this is because of the fact that there are people that are obsessed with the underwear Olympics. He's got average size. He doesn't have top end speed. That's fine. He's definitely a little more slippery than powerful. When, again, guy goes a little north-south, you kind of expect more power than slippiness there. Doesn't get lateral very well. Sometimes at the point of entry, so to speak, and the running game gets a little muddied up there, and the blocking's not the best. He's not the best at figuring out and being, improviser and getting around it. He's not the best at pass protection either. But the thing is that you see him, I hate to say this way, because it sounds like patronizing, I'm going to say it. He tries. Like, you see some guys in pass protection like, here you go. This is the quarterback. It's over here. Go right past me. You see guys, though, that legit may not be the best at it, but at least trying. And that's him. And I do think that with time, he'll get better at that. That's a very common issue for college backs. And a lot of people I see think he's going to be a complimentary kind of NFL back. I think legit this kid could be a starter somewhere. I think he could be the surprise guy that becomes a starter. I really do. And while I'm not big on the Giants necessarily drafting a running back, even though a lot of people think they will, to me, this is more the guy I would look for if you wanted one. A guy with the boom capabilities, but not the bust. A guy who's in a worst case scenario fit in with Scadaboo and Tracy. I'll take it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. He was also, by the way, 2021's Minnesota Mr. Football, finished his prep career in high school with nearly 5,000 rushing yards and 6,000 all-purpose yards, along with more than 130 tackles on defense. This kid's a football player. That's what he is. He's a football player. Look at this. Look at Dorothy talking about him, too. Second, she says, Emmett Johnson is the second best running back in the class. His moves are out of this world. When he runs, I have to make sure my video isn't set to 2x speed. His game against Michigan State is enough to draft him high. Like I said, I think he's legit. And I think he's definitely better than Singletary.
100%. If you're gonna draft a running back, this guy I would like.
Yeah.
We know how it is to draft top 5 running backs.
And you know what?
This guy a little late.
Yeah, I think about him though, the Nagy thing. I keep thinking when I'm thinking of running backs for the Giants, Matt Nagy. Like he loves to throw to them. And this is another guy who catches the ball. He's a receiving back. He's not just a run. So, like I said, I would take him. As long as it made sense where we're at and what's left on the board. I always had to put it that way when it's not talking like, right then and there. We don't know. But if he's available and it makes sense and you don't got other guys around that fill up actual needs and holes, then yeah, why not? I'd take him. So,
yeah.
Now, he was my number 3, though, Dorothy. Sorry. Number 2, Jadarian Price, who feels like a back that people could underrate because the value is not just in the rushing line, it's the return upside, balance, patient style, make him a very serious consideration for a team as a running back in this draft. From Denison, Texas, went to Denison High School there. 5'10" and 5'8", 203 pounds, 22 years old. Notre Dame. You can guess who's number 1 and what school they went to, by the way. Didn't play at all in 22. Had an injury, missed the season with a ruptured Achilles tendon. Now, y'all know when you come back from an Achilles tendon, usually it's a year before you're almost like an ACL kind of thing. It takes you like a year or so to get back. Keep in mind, they're younger at that point. These kids are just out of high school. 13 games, 47 carries, 272 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, 5 catches, 65 yards and a touchdown, 10 kick returns, 344 yards and a touchdown. He one of the weeks against USC, he got the Notre Dame Special Team Player of the Game. 24, 16 games, 120 carries, 746 yards, 6.2 yards per carry average, and 7 touchdowns, 4 catches, 10 yards. This past season, 12 games, 13 carries. 113 carries.
My God.
674 yards, 6.9 yards per carry average, 11 touchdowns, 6 catches, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 kick returns, 450 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Talk about a consistent upswing.
And that's the thing. People got to remember, these are all numbers as running back number 2 on his team. He's just short of 7 yards a carry. He returned 12 kicks, got 2 of them for touchdowns. 6 receptions, 2 as touchdowns. Talking about a guy who's maximized his potential and opportunities.
Yeah. Real.
And like I said, to me, it was close with him and Emmett Johnson for number 1, number 2, number 3. But I'm looking at what he did. 15 touchdowns as running back number 2.
I went back and forth. I think I lean towards Emmett number 2, but like I see the placement here because you're number 2. I have to wonder, like, the eyes weren't on him, the focus when you're studying tape. Does it get away from him? And do you not prepare for him as intense as you do?
I think you went to Notre Dame knowing I got 2 running backs to handle. I really do. I think that was from the get-go. Awards-wise, Sporting News First Team All-American, Sports Illustrated First Team All-American, Football Writers Association Second Team All-American, Walter Camp, second team All-American, USA Today, second team All-American, AP, third team All-American, the Paul Hornig Award finalist, Jet Award finalist, Pony Express Award finalist, end up getting the Paul Hornig Award National Player of the Week in October. I mean, as a second running back. Yeah. Like, that's what just, I feel like, remember the year that Auburn had the 3? It was what? Was it Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams, and obviously Brandon Jacobs?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that. Like, you got 2 guys that are just really, really damn good running backs. You know? Price is a compact build. He's very good contact balance. He's got forward finishing style. He's a patient runner. He literally lets the play develop. Doesn't just run for the hole. He sits there and waits a second. Once he sees the creases, though, he just jets, hits that hit, goes north quickly. He's got decent lateral agility. He slides through traffic. He's got good burst. He can hit explosive plays. Clear open field value. Like, you get this kid in the open field, he's going to make some people miss. He's proven he can literally flip games there with the kickoff returns. He's got reliable hands, got check down, screen option. You know, definitely got some knocks still, though. His receiving resume isn't actually the best. You know, so I don't know if it's a issue with Notre Dame just kind of limiting him or what he is limited to. He's got good long speed, but not necessarily elite. His pass protection still needs some work. And again, he got that Achilles injury back in 22. He's played 3 years with, since then. So I don't think it's an issue, but obviously you don't want to check it out when you have that kind of big issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting enough, he's, again, Denison, Texas, where he's from. They actually threw a Jadarian Price Day back in January to celebrate him.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Price
cool.
is right.
Bob. We'll say the clean version. But yeah, I mean, as far as a Giants fit, again, this is a guy that if you want to bring him in and bring him in to have him be running back 3, my whole issue saying stuff like that is I don't think running back's a need. But all the rumors are that the Giants think so. So
yeah. I don't think this is necessary need, but
not.
There's room there's definitely room for upgrade, but
unless the Giants know something we don't know, like Scadaboo's not as healthy as they're telling people, or they're worried about Tracy because he's halfway through his rookie deal and he's already got an injury each year. I don't, like I said, unless there's something we don't know. But if you're telling me you can bring a guy who's used to not being top dog and be part of a group of running backs like that, who's shown to be very good at running the ball, getting almost 7 yards a carry in Notre Dame, decent, receiver, still, don't know the full value, but he's got shown abilities, and he can return kicks on top of that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested, to be honest. So, but again, I think people are going to draft him too high, and that's my problem. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes in the second round. I don't know if I want to put a second round pick on a running back. I don't want a first round pick on a running back either, but we're talking about that too, apparently. So
it's in talks.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's talk about it, I guess.
Depends what the Giants see, or they might know something we don't know. Always have possibility. So let's get to number 1. Because I know you're all curious to hear about number 1, Evan Neal. No kidding. Number 1, obviously,
Gray.
Jeremiah Love, who might just be the most dangerous, pure explosive threat in this entire class. And it's pretty safe to say he probably just is, flat out. From St. Louis, Missouri. Not sure if he grew up listening to Nelly, but you can assume it. Went to high school at Christian Brothers there in St. Louis, 6 foot even, 212 pounds, 20 years old. Does turn 21 in May. Again, spent all this time at Notre Dame. His roommate was a hunchback. 13 games, 71 rushes, 385 yards, 5.4 yards per carry average, 1 touchdown, 8 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. So again, a little taste is freshman year there. 24 breaks out, 16 games, 163 carries, 1,125 yards, 6.9 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns. 28 catches, 237 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Notre Dame Offensive Player of the Year. Got a right knee injury, though, versus USC. Tweaked the same knee again in versus Georgia, but then returned for the college football playoffs. But again, let me know any injuries we do have there.
Really not enough.
This past year, 12 games, 199 carries, 1,372 yards, 6.9 yards per carry average, 18 touchdowns. 27 catches, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. So that's 226 times he touched the ball. 21 touchdowns. Pretty good. Pretty good there. Can't complain. He's got elite burst and long speed. He's a true home run threat ability. He accelerates well through creases. He's got a good lower body that got sharp cuts in space there. The natural receiver creates chunk plays without even needing perfect blocking, just finds a small crease and goes. He's a feature back probably in the NFL. Dangerous red zone finisher. Again, we talked about the touchdowns. As far as the cons, he's definitely more of a finesse, explosive kind than a punishing inside grinder. He reminds me almost of Saquon to a certain degree, to be honest with you guys. And when I watch the tape, it kind of reminded me a little bit of how he plays like that there. Though I don't think he does some of the stupid things that Saquon did in college as far as like trying to kick it outside all the time as much. But he does have some of those issues as well. He does press for long gains sometimes when he could just lose a modest one as the process. You know, you try to go get the 10-yard gain, you lost the potential 4-yard gain. That kind of thing. Pass protection does need a little bit of refinement there. His pad level is also going to rise a little tall in traffic for some reason specifically. Like he runs well when he's open field. As soon as he gets traffic, it's like he just kind of like stands a little bit there, it seems like. His best work does come in space. He's not as dominant when it comes to running, in traffic, in north-south kind of guy, like just a little different. And I think that's why he's so popular, to be honest with you guys. Like he's a good running back, don't get me wrong. But people are acting like this is generational talent. I don't think he's generational talent. I think he's got a really good film, and that's what kind of gets people excited. But if you watch the whole game, not just the highlights, you'll still see a damn good player. But you'll see a damn good player like you've seen other damn good players in the draft as well. And it's not a knock. It's just me just being legit. This is what he is. Here's the thing. He's a clear upgrade for the room if we get him. You could potentially say he's RB1 the second we draft him.
Good.
Here's the problem we run into. The holes that we have in this roster. And again, we don't know what's going to be there by the time draft time comes. To me, it'd be roster mismanagement to have pick 5 with the holes we have, lacking a corner, lacking run-stopping tackles, lacking a proven starter at guard, to go get a running back when you just drafted 2 back-to-back years that one of them did, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and one of them looked really, really good and they got injured.
Fair.
And you brought it back a guy who's been a former starter at 2 different places on top of that. So I'm good. I don't need him personally, but I get it. If it comes down to it, and you think he's the only guy who's a boom and everybody else is going to be a bust, then why would you take a bust? Obviously, take the boom. So not to play both sides of the coin there, but I do see where the potential talk is coming. If you think what's back is Downs, who's got knee issues potentially, Tate, who quite frankly doesn't excite me, and let's say you get them and the pass rushers. Well, yeah, if you can't trade down, then maybe you take the guy you know is a proven prospect as opposed to taking the guy that you think is going to be a bust. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
I understand. I get it.
For the record, I think he'll be a Titan.
100%. I was going to say that before.
And you know what? Part of me wonders though, is there like a big smoke screen going on to get people interested in him to trade up?
Could be.
There's that potential because if you need a running back, there's really one guy that everybody trusts, and that's it in this draft. This is not like most years. Like last year, we had like what 3 or 4 taken in the first first 2 rounds.
Yeah, this year not so much.
This year, lucky there's 2. Even the mid-round guy is not as good. So, all righty, guys. Well, that's gonna call it a night for us here. Tomorrow, to be very frank with you guys, I don't know fully what we're doing yet because the next group for us to talk about is wide receivers. I have not had the chance to do homework on it yet. I'm not going to throw up a show and just give you guys random stats from some other people and random thoughts from other people. We actually want to watch the film and look at players. So I have an idea in mind. So we have a couple backup options. We'll see what we do. So
we talk about your Skyler account.
Or we might just talk about we might just go ahead and do a episode talking specifically pros and cons of each player for pick 5. Because that's been the big topic I know that everybody wants to talk about lately is what Giants should do at pick 5. So maybe we'll have that discussion specifically for pros and cons for each player that's going to be potentially available at pick 5. So we'll see. Well, again, we're gonna figure that out as we go there based on what kind of time frame I got. Hopefully this weekend I can catch up with y'all and get y'all going for wide receivers and all the groups we got to get going here the next couple of days, corners, all kinds of fun stuff. We will be back, though, of course, with you guys tomorrow night, as I said, 9 p.m. As always, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live on YouTube, the preferred platform. Of course, Facebook, Twitter/X, Twitch, and, of course, Rob's favorite. Before you guys leave, those of you on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're on any other platform, make sure you go to YouTube, hit that thumbs up. That's what gets that driving out there to people. So, again, we'll be back with you guys tomorrow. And, of course, always our shows are always, of course, on the audio version on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the big ones there. And, of course, usually within 24 hours, it's up for the video on Spotify as well. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Appreciate you guys watching, supporting, listening. And, as always, Giant fans, go
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm